Hey guys and gals, A here. Welcome to the first episode of A's US Women's National Team Rundown. So this one is going to be a recap over the game that just occurred, which was against Japan in the She Believes Cup, and kind of a little referencing on the Canada game, as well as kind of the state of women's soccer for us. So we just won 1-0 against Japan in the She Believes Cup. We already have won the game against Canada 2-0. All three goals by Mallory Swanson, formerly Pugh, who I will probably frequently refer to as Mallory Pugh. It is what it is, but Mallory Swanson. And some good things happening. I think if you follow women's soccer, and especially this past year of it, as a fan of United States women's soccer, it's been a little concerning. We're used to winning and winning a lot, and we are not used to losing, used to losing back-to-back games, and certainly not used to losing back-to-back, which is kind of the story of fall of 2022, which is kind of the fall of U.S. women's soccer. But definitely some good things happening. 2 wins in the She Believes Cup. That's definitely good. Wins this year. That's good. And I don't know. Like first half of the game today, we looked pretty good. I mean, not great. Definitely frustrating. Second half, we looked very lackluster and different, if that is, I don't know, to say the least. But it's frustrating as a fan, because it's a World Cup year. Like, we are playing in the World Cup in 5 months, and this is where we are, and one of the concerning things for me. Here is our starting 11 from the Japan game. In goal, we had Casey Murphy, Ashley Sanchez, Alana Cook, Lynn Williams, Sophia Huerta, Mallory Swanson, Lindsay Horan rocking the captain's band, Naomi Girma, Alex Morgan, Christy Mewis, and Emily Fox. Now, if you know much about the women's soccer team, that does not sound like a starting lineup for us. It sounds like a good lineup, but it doesn't sound like a starting lineup. It sounds like we're trying to figure out what pieces work together and how they work together. And that's very concerning considering we're going for a World Cup in 5 months. To compare that, here's the starting 11 against Canada a mere 4 days ago. In goal, we did not have Casey Murphy. Alyssa Nair held that position, and as the first goalkeeper, like first listed goalkeeper, kind of understood as the starting goalkeeper, you expect to see her there. I definitely have no problem seeing Casey Murphy get some time, and she's probably the future of the team. Or Adriana Franch. I think she is also a very solid backup goalkeeper. I have no problem seeing them get time together, or get time playing, rather. But maybe not the first tournament of the year, and the tournament where you're trying to get your team to gel. It starts with the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper is the vocal person in the back line, kind of running everything. That person is definitely heading up the defense, if not kind of controlling a bit of the flow of the game from the back. And let her be there. Like, let the team learn the voice in the back. Let the team learn the voice who's going to be saving your tails when someone gets by you or a shot gets taken and y'all weren't prepared. She's the one who's going to save your tails, or the ball's going to go in and it's going to score. But it's going to be by her. She's going to be the one directing you, telling you where to go, telling you where to block, telling you what's going on the field that you can't see. And if you're trying to figure out your team and how they're going to gel, you need to have your goalkeeper in there. And like I said, I have no problem letting these other goalkeepers get their time and get their play, but maybe not this tournament. Maybe the next one. Maybe the next games we have. Maybe some friendlies we have. But this tournament, you should have, in my opinion, seen whoever is your starting goalkeeper in the World Cup, whoever you are currently thinking is the starter, let her play all 3 games and let her control the field from her spot. So there you go. Alyssa Nair was in Canada. Casey Murphy was against Japan, and she made 2 killer saves. So maybe she's not just our future. Maybe she's our a really good chance to be a starting goalkeeper in the World Cup. I don't know. But she looked good tonight. I'm just not a fan of the 2 goalkeepers. And if we see Adriana Franch in the 3rd game against Brazil, I might pull my hair out, because then we've seen every single goalkeeper we have, and we probably know nothing more going into the next games than we did before. But after that, we had Ashley Sanchez, Alana Cook, Becky Sauerbrunn, Trinity Rodman, Mallory Swanson, Lindsay Horan, Alex Morgan, Andy Sullivan, Crystal Dunn, and Emily Fox. And Alex Morgan was the captain for there. So running this list real quick, we are looking at Ashley Sanchez and Alana Cook started both games. Lindsay Horan and Alex Morgan started both games. And Emily Fox. Other than that, it was new people. And I haven't actually looked at the roster and done the list, but I'm fairly certain that means nearly every player we brought with us, okay, not quite, we brought 23. A lot of players have started in 2 games. And we're 5 months out. Like, I wanted this to be a tournament where, aside from the players out with injuries and barring future injuries, you were kind of sending out your starting 11 for at least 2 of these 3 games. And you were saying, go for it. Learn each other, learn how to play together, learn how to play in a competition level against teams where you actually are playing for a tournament. This is not just a friendly. It's not the same team back to back, but you're playing in a 3-game tournament against some really good teams, some decent teams, some really good teams, and you want to win. You want to have that She Believes Cup as a trophy. So U11, go out here and play and learn to play together. And yeah, there are some people on injury right now who have a really good chance of being in the starting 11, or at least on the roster carried to the World Cup. And ideally, all the people who were brought to this one, none of them are injured. So they are all on the roster come, time to plan that World Cup roster to leave. They're all options and available. That is ideal. We don't want to see injuries now, and we don't want people who are injured and on track to come back to re-injure or get new injuries or have setbacks and not be available. I think up front we are solid. Like, we can score. We have depth up front. We have so much depth that names that were critical and crucial and frequently said for the 19 World Cuppers might not make the cut. I mean, big names. Tobin Heath, the master with the footwork, might not be making the cut for the 23 World Cup because of the depth and the talent we have in the front. Kristen Press, we haven't seen her in a hot minute. I believe fall of 21 it has been since we have seen her. And she was one of the best in the professional league in the United States early last year until an ACL tear. We haven't seen her back, and she's on track to be available for, I believe, the next games we have after the She Believes Cup. And I would love to see her get an invite back. But we do have depth and talent, and she's going to have to work to get her way back on this roster. I mean, Megan Rapinoe, she's going to be a leader. She's going to be one running this, and she's going to be coming on as a super sub. She has said she doesn't care about the minutes she gets, and she just wants to be a leader and contribute however is needed. And I didn't know how that was going to work when I first heard that her and Vlatko had come to an agreement and that she would be a part of this next World Cup team, but in a much more limited playing time role and a much larger leadership role. I was on the fence about where I stood on that, but having seen it in practice, having seen it play out over the course of this time, I think that's a role that is well suited for her. We do need leadership on this team because it is young, and she has experience, she has leadership, and she's actually when she does come on, she can't make an impact. I'm not saying she's always making an impact when she comes, like a big impact, but she definitely can, and she has, and I believe, she will. Like if she's there, she's going to make an impact, and she's going to be leading far more than we know. Obviously, Alex will be there, barring injury. She is on fire, and she was amazing. And then it was kind of like, what's she doing? Will she be here for the next World Cup? Will she not? Well, while we're asking that question, she's like, no, dudes, I'm going to be there. And she has more than proven she might be at the top of her game. And that's saying a lot for her. And I mean, Mallory Swanson, Trinity Rodman, Sophia Smith, Lynn Williams, so much talent to be up there. And then throwing in names like Kristen Press and Tobin Heath and other athletes other players who haven't even come in. Like, there's so much depth up front. We are not slacking. We could probably field 2 to 3 teams of solid up fronts alone. The midfield is a problem, and I don't think that's any surprise anywhere. We need a 6. We need someone to play that defensive role that Julie Ertz has for so long for us. And I truly believe we broke her. Like, we ran her into the ground, and God bless her for that. Like, she stuck it out and gave it her all. And maybe one day we do see her suited back up in the crest, but that is probably very, very unlikely for this World Cup. And we don't have anyone filling her shoes. There are different people who Vlatko has tried putting in that role, and I don't think we've seen that person yet. While he's still in the phase of trying people out, I mean, we've tried Lindsay out at that role. We've tried Andy Sullivan at that role. I would like to see Christy Mewis play that role. I don't know if she's cut out for it, but one of the things about Julie Ertz that works so well for the 6 is that tenacity, is that like bulldogness, the one who's willing to throw the body on the line to stop the player. And I feel like Christy Mewis embodies that. Like, I don't know if tactically she is there to play the 6 and to like know fully everything that's going on the field and exactly where she needs to be to best cover that. But I do know she's a bulldog, and she will go after wherever she is. Even if she was in the wrong position and realizes that, she will do her best to get back and cover and get in there. I think she would be a good try at that role, as well as maybe Crystal Dunn. Crystal Dunn also has that tenacity and that, go get 'em, body on the line style of play. And I don't think she needs to be relegated to the left wing for us. She plays midfield for her club team and is really good and scores and gets her assist and is up front. So I think she doesn't need to be locked into the left defensive wing spot. I think she could try the 6. I know that still won't get her up front to score, quite the opposite actually. But I think she could handle that really, really well. No Sam Mewis either, which is going to be a big hurt. Everyone talks about the lack of Julie Ertz and what that looks like. I think Sam Mewis did a lot on the field that allowed Julie Ertz to do what Julie Ertz did. And I don't think that is talked about near enough. I think we see the lack of Sam Mewis just as much, if not more, than Julie Ertz. And she was great at making space. She was great at being, big in the middle, a presence in the middle. She added so much height on the field. And it's not just height, because we do have Taylor Cornick, but it's not the same. Like, she just filled a hole that I don't know we've seen often in players, and it worked wonderfully. And her and Julie in the middle was something magical, and it created a middle that was hard to break down, and it was hard to figure out how to maneuver into a scoring position against us with that midfield that we had. And then defense. Why was Becky Sauerbrunn not out there? I mean, if there's a starter we have, and there's not a question on it, goodness gracious, if Becky's not injured, is she not our starting, defensive core? Absolutely. So why are you sitting her down? Did she have a knock? Was she injured? Were you protecting her? Because if so, kudos. Sorry I hadn't heard up on that yet and read up on that. If not, put the girl out there and let her play, and let everyone around her learn from her, and learn how she plays and runs that defense. Like, for reals, like, stop playing around. Becky is going to be there. Becky's going to run the defense. If Becky is there running the defense, you have a lot more flexibility with the three around her than if Becky, or two around her, depending on how you set up. But if Becky's running that defense, you got a lot more flexibility than if someone else is in that role. So yeah, don't take Becky out. Like, if she's not injured, put the girl in and let her run her defense. So yeah, like, just kind of my takes on this. I don't know where, I don't know what he's going to do against Brazil. I'm interested to see what that lineup is and how he merges the two lineups he has created. And I'm really interested for the timeline that was released, I believe, in January on players coming back. I believe in March or April, we have a lot of those players coming back. I'm really excited to see who he brings in. And once all these players, or the majority of them, are back from injury, what do these lineups look like? Because at some point, he's got to lock into an 11 and he's got to let them run, because he's got to get them to mesh together. If they don't know where each other are going to be and can't anticipate how this works, it's going to be a hard World Cup to win for us. So let's get these girls healthy. Let's get them on the field together. And Lord, man, Mr. Vlatko, sir, lock in some players and let them play. Like, pick your 11 and let them run, and then throw in your subs as you want. But yeah, I think we have a good chance at the World Cup, but I'm saying that from far away and in hopeful eyes. I really want him to lock into an 11 and change it as injuries dictate, whether that's healthy players coming back or people getting injured and having to put other people in their places. But one injury recovery we have is Lynn Williams, and girl has been on fire this year. Already got a goal in her first game back. She's still got those legs. Like, she's got to be one of the fastest players on the team still. So that's really positive. We needed her, as well as hopefully we see some more of that with these other players who are coming back. So fingers crossed on that one. But yeah, this has been my rundown so far of the She Believes Cup. I will be back with the video after our last game and hopefully talking about the trophy that we won with the She Believes Cup. But thanks for watching A's U.S. Women's National Team Rundown. I'll be back with a new episode soon. See ya!